Over this last year, Marie and I have really been kind of hashing out what we wanted our mission statement to be. We looked at other missions of the department, and we kind of came up with this idea of equitable access for English learners through continuous improvement. This continuous improvement is how we are furthering the mission for our English learners. And we believe that all students need to have equitable access to excellent educators, which is what we're doing here today, right? And rigorous standards. We want to make sure that we are delivering content and language simultaneously for our English learners, and that we are valuing the assets that they bring to our schools. And engaging the community in support. So we came up with this mission, and through that, we started talking about the idea of what does English development look like. And we want English language development happening every single day in every single classroom, not just with our EL teachers, right? We don't want it to be, oh, you're the EL teacher. When they're with you, they're learning English. It needs to be all day, every day, in every classroom, in every grade, in every content area. And so that's part of where we launched this idea this year with the with the ELE team, with the idea that all teachers must be teachers of language and literacy, and that we have to teach that content and language simultaneously. Also the idea that bilingualism is an asset and it's adding to our schools, and that academic language is crucial to be ready for college, career, and life. So it has to be happening every day in every lesson. And that's how we kind of started with this whole idea of the ELE team this year, and I didn't name this, you guys actually came up with this. I think at one of the first sessions someone said this is kind of like an academic language movement, and I think Kelly had a part in that as well. And so that's kind of how I started referring it to that throughout the year as this academic language movement, as we looked at different strategies to build content and language simultaneously. So, just for our guests, just to kind of have an idea of how our ELE team worked, we branched out to our EL coordinators last fall, and we asked for people who are interested in participating with teachers in their schools and districts. And the coordinators got a chance to decide if they wanted to participate, and if they did, they reached out to invite teachers that showed leadership skills and teachers who really had a desire to improve learning outcomes for our English learners. That's you guys. And so today we have a very diverse group of educators all the way from kindergarten through 12th grade, which is awesome. We have English learner teachers and specialists, we have English learner coaches and coordinators, but we also have reading specialists, instructional coaches, and content teachers, which I think is super, super awesome. So we're partnering together to bring that content and that language through this academic movement. So this program was open to educators who were interested in becoming leaders and really working to provide equitable access for our English learners. Our participants have shown leadership skills, and they really have an interest in helping their colleagues as well with that turnaround training. The team has participated in professional learning throughout the year, and it's been focused on supporting English learners in the content and building academic language. We've also had some extra specialists coming in to talk to us about family engagement and involvement. We've talked about social emotional health, and we've also talked about specific content areas like math. So we've had a wide range of professional learning happening, and in the afternoon sessions our teams were allowed to work together to really put together their plan for how they're going to then take it back to their districts. And that's kind of what you're going to see today as we go through the presentations here and then over in the gallery. So this collaborative group has really worked to customize their professional learning materials and their training plans for how they're going to take it back to their district or charter. We had 12 district and charters participating. You can see our districts here and our charters on the other side. We do have a few teams that are not present here today just for logistical reasons, just couldn't make it. But these are all the teams who participated throughout the year. Just a little bit of background knowledge for those of you that are visiting us. We kind of used these two resources a lot during this ELE team when we were working on professional learning. We started with the classroom instruction that works for English learners, which has been around for a long time in its original form, classroom instruction that works, and now has a really great complement for English learners. And so we used this in the very beginning of the first several sessions as part of our book study to really figure out how can we tie in academic language and the content. And I'm going to introduce you to Kelly in just a minute, but one of the things that we did also do is we used the idea of teaching the critical vocabulary. The critical vocabulary are critical verbs that are happening in every content area, like analyze, compare, contrast. And we use those to really kind of branch into this idea of the academic language movement. And I want to read you what Kelly wrote. Her words were much better than mine can be. The thinking verbs are a way for teachers to systematically and consistently introduce students to the critical verbs found in content and assessments. Through the use of these visuals and definitions, students learn the academic language that are needed to be successful within the classroom and on assessment tasks. Thinking verbs focus the student on the critical thinking that will be necessary in a lesson and the language that goes with those thinking skills and processes. So when you go over to the other side and you see thinking verbs on the gallery, you're going to see examples of the actual cards. You're going to see sentence frames that feature those cards. You're going to see lots of great things happening around those thinking verbs, and that is why, because that was a really big part of our initial academic language movement in the beginning of our sessions.